Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, visiting East Coast Honda, and I'm checking out a 2017 Honda CR-V in the EXL trim level. So this one is loaded up with a lot of cool features to show off. It has the leather seats, the sunroof, nice big touchscreen. So let's go ahead and check it out. This CR-V is sitting on 235/60 R18 hand-cooked tires with 18-inch alloy wheels, and that's the first thing that got my attention when I walked up to the vehicle. These awesome 18-inch wheels, really cool looking and different. Now this vehicle has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated disc brakes in the front and solid disc brakes in the back. The name of this color is Crystal Black Pearl. And all black, shiny black vehicles go good with some shiny chrome. So this one has the shiny chrome here on the front grille with the Honda emblem. It also has a kind of a gray metallic accent there at the front center in the grille area. You have a combination of gloss and matte black trimmings here on the front. You can see the turn signal is an LED flashing there at the top. It also has an LED daytime running light there across the bottom. You can see it flickering a little bit only because of my camera. Now the headlights for your low beams are powered by halogen bulbs and a projector tube. And then the high beams are in a reflector housing. And then you have your fog lights here at the bottom in a reflector halogen system. This is what the key looks like. It's a proximity key system, and it's designed to where you can just keep it in your pocket. You don't actually have to take it out and push any buttons if you don't want to. It does have the lock and unlock buttons, the ability to open up the power liftgate, remote start, and a panic button here at the bottom. Physical key is on the inside in case that's needed, but generally you just grab it and go, and you don't have to worry about it. The side of the vehicle is accented with this chrome accent all around the doors and windows here. Has a nice, and it gets a little bit thicker here in the back, just kind of give it a classier look, I suppose. So as long as you have the key with you, it can be in your pocket or your purse or whatever, as long as it's nearby the vehicle. Some people don't understand that. I want to make it very clear that this will not work unless the key's right here with you. So you walk up to the vehicle, you can lock the doors by placing your finger here. You can unlock it by simply putting your hand behind the handle. Now it senses your hand back there. It senses the key within a close proximity of the vehicle, and it unlocks the doors. All right, so here's the inside. We're gonna work our way around to the driver's seat, so bear with me. Here's the inside of the back, the passenger side door. Check out that wood grain. That simulated wood grain here on the side. I mean, it is fantastic looking. Soft to the touch on your door here on the side. You have some contrast stitching. It's even soft to the touch up here. You have some metallic accents, including the handle in a gray, kind of a gray color. Little tweeter speaker up here, bigger speaker at the bottom. You have a bottle holder and some storage space, and I like the way they have a little bit of space here in the front of the bottle holder, just so you can quick access. You don't have to, you can kind of reach there, look in there. There's your threshold area. This is some package plastic that'll peel off. Power seats here on the passenger side, and they're leather trim seats. And check it out, it has this neat pattern here in the center. A slight contrast stitching around. Some decent bolstering without being too intrusive. Very comfortable seats. And they're quite a ways off the floor actually, so you can kind of have that feeling of being in a chair. Your legs aren't sticking straight out as much. And it has plenty of leg room. The seat's not even all the way back, and it's already, right there is all the way back. So to give you an idea of the amount of leg room, love that wood grain. Then you have that gloss black accent there in the center of the dash. Soft to the touch dash too. Alright, lockable glove compartment. And it's smooth plastic on the inside and very good size. It's kind of deep in there. You have this little pad there on the side. I guess that's for your knee area or just for looks, I guess. So you can see it has the privacy glass here in the back doors and back windows. Keeps the sun from shining on you, as well as people looking in on you as well. Alright, let's take a look at the back. Check out the wood grain. It has it back here as well. Really nice. Soft to the touch features all around the door here. There's a little tweeter speaker, bigger speaker, and then there's some storage space. So the back seat is one big bench seat. It does have some slight bolsterings to kind of simulate a bucket seat on each side, but not much. It's more of a bench seat. And it has this armrest that folds down with some cup holders if you don't have a center passenger. Nice and soft too, very soft. And you look at the legroom, even with that seat all the way back, plenty of legroom and almost no hump there in the center. So even the center passenger is going to enjoy their ride back here. You have two USB ports, 2.5 amp chargers, so that way you can charge your cell phone. So I guess they paid attention to what people do as soon as they get in the vehicle, especially the passengers here in the back. Okay, taking a look at the back of the vehicle, it has a shark fin antenna on the top, the spoiler with the third brake light at the top as well. Has the wiper there in the center and some chrome accents. LED tail lights and turn signals. You got to check out my night video on the CR-V. Kind of windy out. Hopefully my wind filter is doing its job. So you have a backup camera, a little bit offset, but it's there and it's kind of a wide angle so you can see all around. And it has two exhaust tips back here. So there's a couple ways of opening up the power liftgate. One is push a button just under here, or you can use the key. So you just push and hold and it lifts up for you. So this is handy. You can start the vehicle, you can unlock the doors, you can open up the power liftgate as you're walking to the vehicle. Let's say you leave the store or whatever and you're walking to the vehicle, you got everybody with you, you can go ahead and unlock it, open up the back and start it up, and people can start piling in and putting their seat belts on while you're putting stuff in the back. It's really convenient. You can also set the height. You notice it's pretty high, so if you have a garage door or garage ceiling or whatever the case may be that this might interfere with it, all you have to do is manually position the liftgate the way you want and push and hold this button, and it'll set the height, the maximum height that it will go to, so that way it doesn't hit anything. Okay, so you have the shade that's removable. You can take it completely out. You can also just retract it like so, and it kind of stays right there. Two light sources, one on each side. That's nice for the cargo area. This one has the cargo mat in place, which is highly recommended by me. You can see it goes in quite a ways, and it has this hard plastic, this smooth plastic on the side, easy to clean. It's just kind of nice and organized, out of the way. You have some tie downs there. You don't want to get confused with the cargo tie downs there and the anchors for your car seats. Those are your car seat anchors. Those are your tie downs. Your tie downs are not strong enough for the car seat, so you want to make sure that since they're close, you don't want to get those mixed up. You also have some tie downs here towards the back. here and here. You also have a little bag holder right in there, and you have one on the left side. Now it pops out, so you can kind of pop it out when you want to use it, or you can put it away when you don't want to use it. Okay, so this lifts up actually, and there's a little handle here, and this is where you'll find your spare tire and tools. You can see it's all insulated to keep the noise down. There's your jack, and you can utilize some of this space for cargo space if you want to. You also have this little removable divider there if you want to, on both sides, just in case you want to need to put something in here that's getting in the way. You can remove that. Same thing with the shade, as I mentioned. But also check this out. It has these little handles here on the side, and you just pull that and it folds down the seat for you. So that way, if you're back here, you need to put something big in here, you just pull the handle, folds the seat down, and it's out of the way. And that's with the front seat all the way back, so you don't even have to worry about the front seats. You just go ahead and fold them down, and you can see it folds down in a 60-40 split fashion, so that way you can maintain some passenger space while adding to your cargo space, or have a combination of both. Okay, so let's go ahead and push the button. Of course, we can use the key to close it, but we can just push this button like so, and it'll close down for us. You have a locking fuel door. There's a little release there, and it's on the driver's side, which is super convenient, and some would argue is a safety issue if you don't have it here. Okay, so it has this capless design, so basically you just put your nozzle in there, pump your gas, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about a cap being loose, your check engine light turning on, any of that stuff. Now, in a previous video, people got confused with this little grease right in here and thought that was rust, but this is just grease for the little hinge there. Okay, so it has this little cover to keep debris from getting in there, but it is a two-stage opening, so even if something were to get in here, it still has to make it past the other portion there to actually get into the gas tank. Now, you do have to use a funnel, this little funnel that's provided. You saw it with the tire and tools, in case you need to use a gas can. So if you use a gas can, it has a little funnel there to get past those both openings. To start it up, all you have to do is have the key inside with you. It could be in your pocket or whatever. And you just get in, put your foot on the brake and hold it, and push this button. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Now you can see the floor mat actually hooks in place here so it doesn't slide around on you, because it could be a safety issue. There's your accelerator and brake pedals. It even has a place to put your left foot and this footrest here. All wide open, very comfortable. Alright, so let's take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's a latch right here in the kind of in the center here, a little bit to the left of center, I guess. You just move it to the right and you lift it up. Now, it does require a prop. You can see the prop's right here. See the white tip of it, and it goes up right here with a little arrow. That's where it holds it up for you. All right, so you can see it has an insulated firewall. Your strut towers are braced in with the unibody system. It is the ACE body structure, so everything is designed to crumple appropriately to make you safer on the side of the vehicle. It's pretty interesting. You got to look it up if you haven't heard of it. ACE body structure, ACE. All right, so it does have a little bit of some plastic here in the way, but generally you can see the engine pretty good. It's not completely covered up like some. Now, it has a turbocharger right in here, and it's a 190 horsepower, 1.5 liter turbocharged engine that is direct injected. And is paired to a CVT automatic transmission, continuously variable transmission. That's what CVT stands for. And you have the little battery right here that's easy to get to and secure. All the wiring is neatly organized and tucked away and wrapped up. The The inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So the driver special, they have access to all the power windows, and the front two are one touch up and down, automatic. Go up and down quite fast. Your door lock controls, your side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side and adjust it with that little pad. You have 2 memory seat positions for your driver's seat. And speaking of the driver's seat, check it out. There's your power adjustable seats. You even have a 4-way lumbar adjustment on the driver's seat as well. They're special. The driver is always the most special person in the vehicle, so they get all the amenities. Really like these leather trim seats. It does have some really small perforations in there. I don't know if you can see that. Has a little storage pocket right in here, and it kind of dips down, so that way if you put some change in there, it's not going to just fly out. So right in here, this one has the crash mitigation. It'll actually brake the, apply the brakes to try to mitigate a crash. It also has the road departure mitigation is what they call it, so that way it actually can turn you back into your in your lane. It's not going to drive itself, but it will kind of steer the steering wheel a little bit for you. Ability to open up the power lift gate, and your traction control, you can turn that off in case you need to spin tires. It also has a tilt and telescoping steering column. So let's check out the articulation here. It articulates quite well, and then you lock it in place with that lever. Okay, let's take a look here on the inside from the driver's seat. And very comfortable seats. I like the way they're off the floor a little bit. It kind of gives you that feeling like you're in a chair. And the leg room is fantastic. My knee room is good. I can put my knees kind of over the center there, and I can almost put my legs completely straight out. And actually I would have to pull the seat up a little bit more than this in order to drive, because you can put the seat so far back that it's hard to reach the controls here. So that's how much room you have. Okay, so let's start with a steering wheel, and it's a leather wrap steering wheel with the stitching on the inside. Then you have the bolstering there on the top portion. And this one has a lot of cool features. You have your cruise control, but it's not just a regular cruise control, it's an adaptive cruise control. So once you turn that on, you see the ACC pops up there, little green letters, adaptive cruise control. And what that does is, as you're driving on the highway, if you set your cruise control at say 60 miles an hour, if there's a vehicle in front of you going slower, it's going to slow your vehicle down to match their speed. So that way you don't have to, you won't hit them. Also, you don't have to constantly adjust your speed to match other people's driving in front of you. It'll keep you at a set distance, and you can actually change that distance by pushing this button right here, and it'll give you up to 4 car lengths, so you can keep a set distance from the vehicle in front of you. And then there's your lane keeping assist button right here to turn that on and off. Push main. So basically this turns the main button actually turns on your cruise control system, and then you can make your selections there. Okay, so here on the left side you have a volume for your radio. So all you have to do is just kind of slide your finger, and you can change the radio just by kind of, it's kind of sensitive. You don't have to actually, you can push it, but you don't have to do that. All you have to do is just slide your finger across it, your thumb right here, to adjust the volume, which is pretty cool. And then these buttons right here correspond with this radio, this screen up here, which we'll get to in just a minute. But you also have your Bluetooth controls to answer the calls, hang up, and have a pretty advanced voice recognition system. It will adapt to your voice, and you can call people basically that's in your phone book, as long as it's in your phone book and you say it the way it's spelled, while your hands are on the wheel and eyes on the road. So it's kind of like a safety feature as well as a convenience feature. Alright, so this is a little menu button right here. Cycle through some stuff on the screen up there, which we'll show you in just a minute. So we'll go through these a little bit more detail in a minute. Your windshield wiper controls for your front and rear are on the right side. The left side is your turn signal, but it also has your headlight controls. So you have off, parking light, automatic, and then turn on your headlights. Your fog lights are turned on and off here. Okay, so here's your gauges, and it's a flat black background, and then you have the bright lettering popping out, so that way it's easy to focus on while you're driving, especially when you're transitioning from the road and your eyes have to refocus here to the gauges and then back to the road. It just makes it easier to have that nice big crisp simple looking gauge design. So on the left is your engine coolant temperature there, and on the right side is your fuel gauge. But right here in the center at the very top, you see that bar, that's your RPMs, and then you have the digital speedometer, and it shows you your range and your fuel economy information there. Now we can push this button. We're going to go ahead and push this button right now. We're going to push it, and it cycles through your fuel economy, basically how well this vehicle basically monitors the way you steer the steering wheel, and if it kind of shows your driver attention level. So if you're kind of swerving around the road and stuff like that, then it's going to pop up and give you a little alert, and it shows a little cup of coffee, and it says, hey, maybe it's time for a break. That's pretty neat. So scrolling through, this is where you can find this little tool icon, and it shows your oil life, and I accidentally pushed to the right, but shows your oil life. Go back to that, and then scrolling again, you go to your radio, what your radio's doing. Scrolling again, we go to your cell phone, like your caller ID and stuff like that will show up there. And then you can change to kilometers per hour there. Then it goes back to that screen. So that's just by pushing this one button. That's just cycling through these, these main menus. Now, if you use these arrows, I had to enter the different ones. So I select it and then enter it, the one I want. Okay, so now if I push the right arrow, it's going to go into my presets for my radio, so I can make those selections. Going up and down will change the audio source, so AM, FM, satellite radio. It's pretty neat. All while keeping your hands on the wheel. That's the whole idea, that you can keep your hands on the wheel and make all these adjustments. You can make phone calls, you can adjust the volume, change the stations, all that good stuff. You reset your trip with this little button right here. Basically, it's a stalk for adjusting your brightness, but you push it in to change through your trips, and then you make your reset on your trip. There's your start button, nice red glowing. Kind of looks orangey on the video, but it's actually a clear red. Alright, time for the center stack. You have the vents there at the top with your four-way flashers and a nice touchscreen radio. Check it out, volume knob. It's got a little traditional volume knob. And so right now we're in this home screen, and this actually has expandable screens, sort of like your cell phone where you can install more stuff. But right now it has access to your audio and information. Honda Link, which is an app you can install on your cell phone. And speaking of apps that you install on your cell phone, you can plug in your smartphone to the appropriate USB port here, and you can install either Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, or maybe both. Then you go into all your settings. So let's take a look at the audio screen first. Now, if you have your source set to the USB and there's nothing in the USB, or there's no audio on the USB, it's going to default look for pictures. So if you want to look at pictures off of a USB drive, you can do that, which is pretty neat. So here's your radio station. You can tune through the station. You have your presets at the bottom. You can change your audio source, AM, FM, satellite radio, and then you have your USB, Bluetooth. You can hook up an iPod. You even have Pandora, and then your smartphone app there. Alright, so let's go to the phone. Once you pair your phone, you'll have access to your call history, your phone book, all the details there, but right now I don't have anything listed. All right, and there's your back button. On certain screens you can go back out of. Let's just quickly look at the settings. There's lots and lots of settings here, so you can just give you an idea of what kind of settings are in there. All right, and then you have your temperature for your driver and passenger, and then your digital clock, and you have a digital compass. See, it says the W showing that this vehicle's facing west right now. You also have this little button that you can go into, and it's kind of like a Android system where you can have a web browser and you can do internet searches and stuff like that using the data from your cell phone. This is pretty neat. Alright, so your climate control is down here. You have a dual zone, driver and passenger. There's your temperatures. So as I adjust this one here, you'll see the temperature change there on the appropriate side. You can also push this button to sync them so they'll both be the same temperature if you want. You can push this button to go into your climate and it'll show up on the screen. So you can have your fan speed and all that adjusted here on the climate, where you want the air to blow, turn your air conditioning on and off. You have some buttons down here, kind of redundant, but you do have the quick access button, so you don't actually have to go into that climate screen. You can change your fan speed, the front and rear defrosters, and the rear defrosters will also turn on the heated side mirrors. It also has a 3-stage for the passenger and the driver heated seat. So 1, 2, 3. It also has the blind spot monitor system. So right here on the side mirror, it's this little icon. See if it'll focus on it. There's a little icon here that illuminates if there's a vehicle in your blind spot. So if you're driving along, if there's a vehicle anywhere from the side mirror, side of the car, here on the side mirror, all the way back to 1 car length behind the vehicle, if there's a car in that area, that will illuminate. Now, if you were to put your turn signal in that direction, it's going to flash and really get your attention, let you know that there's somebody there. But this is on both sides for your driver, both sides, your driver's side mirror and your passenger side mirror. So that way you'll know if somebody's in your blind spot. Now, this also serves as a rear cross path detection system. So if you're backing out of a parking spot and say you're perpendicularly parked like these vehicles here, and you're backing out of a spot, sometimes you can't see around the cars next to you. So it will actually tell you if there's a car approaching from the appropriate side using those little indicators, which is pretty neat. Okay, so here's your shifter. And before we go into that, I just want to show you. Here's the brochure I found, and it has all the colors. Here's the trim level, so you can quickly differentiate between the different trims. So it starts off with the LX, goes to the EX, EXL, and then the Touring. I wish I can get my hands on a Touring. Not yet, though. I like to see those LED lights, especially at nighttime. So you can use the pause button to kind of read all the details here. I just want to kind of get this on camera just for your benefit. Of course, you can pick one of these up at East Coast Honda and give you some more information. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the shifter area. So it has a electronic parking brake, so pulling this up will engage the parking brake on the rear wheels. Pushing it down will release it. You just have to hold the brake. And then you have this brake hold feature, speaking of holding the brake. When you're driving and you stop at a stoplight or whatever for an extended period of time, or in traffic, as long as this is on, you can let go of the brake, and then that way the vehicle will hold itself for you until you push the accelerator, which is pretty interesting. Then you have this eco mode for telling the vehicle that you want the highest fuel economy and you don't really care too much about the performance in that moment. And speaking of that, while you're driving, you see this white bar here at the top. This will actually turn green and white depending on your driving habits. So if you're like really accelerating hard, it's going to turn white. But as you're just kind of driving easy, it's going to stay green, just to let you know that you're kind of sipping gas. You're kind of in a eco mode per se. All right, so this is your shifter, and it's here up on the, kind of in the center, so it's out of the way of the center console. And then you have a reverse. When you put it in reverse, backup camera pops up here. You can see how these guidelines that move as I turn the steering wheel, so they're active guidelines. And then you have different views. So you have this wide angle view, more of a direct view, and then kind of like a top-down view. So it kind of changes the distortion of the camera to kind of give you simulated views. It's the same camera, but it just gives you different views. All right, so continuing down, there's neutral, there's drive, that's your normal drive position. And then you have a sport mode, which is emphasis on performance over fuel economy. And then you have a low range. This is where this has a CVT transmission, so it doesn't have gears, but it does have speed ratios, and you give you a lower speed ratio. So if you're going downhill, you need some more engine braking or need some engine braking, you can use that. You have a 12-volt power supply right here, 180 watt max, little storage pocket with a removable liner right in there. 2 cup holders, and they have these little articulating arms to accommodate for different size cups. There's a storage compartment, but let's look at the armrest here, and it looks like it might be wide enough to share with your passenger. And look how soft it is. Nice and comfortable and soft. And this lifts up. It actually slides forward and backwards, and then you can lift it up, and you can access this massive cargo dumpster of like a junk drawer of the vehicle. You can put all your junk in here, at least I do anyway. But this has this little slider thing, so you can have this closed and you can have some quick access stuff. You can slide that back, quick access more things. And this is actually removable, so it has this little thing here that you can take out. So let's go ahead and take it out so you can actually see what it looks like in here. Massive compartment. So this is, like I said, this is the place where you just throw a bunch of junk and clutter it up. You also have, this is where you find the USB ports. So you notice the one on the far left shows a picture of a cell phone showing you that's the connection for your Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and the other one is a charger. And then you have a power supply, another one, 12 volt. All right, auto dim rear view mirror. Tap lights, so you can have quick reading lights. You can turn on all your interior lights by pushing this button here. Move it back to the off position, turn them all off. Or you can put it in a center position and it will turn the lights on when you open the door. See this little light right here? That gives you a little bit of real soft ambient light right down here in the center of the vehicle, just to kind of give you your bearings at nighttime without blinding you. And this is for your sunroof, which we'll get to in just a minute. There's your home link garage door opener controls right in here. And you have a place to put your shades, and it has like this really high quality felt lining. Not a felt, it's like a foam lining on the inside to put your shades. And it looks like it might be big enough to put your big Hollywood shades, you know. And check it out, you lift it up and drop it there, and you have a conversation mirror, so you can keep an eye on the back seat drivers back there. Alright, so there's your visor, and it has some mirrors and lights in them. Same thing on the passenger side. Okay, so it's time for the sunroof. So the sunroof has a shade that blocks 100% of the light. So that way you don't want any light on you, you can have the shade covered up, and it just kind of, you know, like a regular headliner without a sunroof. Open it up to get some sun. And let's go ahead and open it up as far back as it goes. And close it. And we can tilt it up like so. Just kind of get a little bit of air there. Alright, and then we can, of course, close the shade if we want. Alright, time to look at the visibility. So lots of glass back there, lots of windows, and you can see the headrest lines up with the pillar back there, so it's not really a big issue. And there's lots of windows, little windows there in the far back, there in the center, and of course the back door windows give you plenty of visibility. Of course the backup camera, the cross path detection, the blind spot monitor system, all that stuff's going to help you out with this as well. But in general, good visibility anyway. Okay, so there you have it. 2017 Honda CR-V in the EXL trim level. So this has a lot of cool features to show off, and I had a really fun time showing it off. So thank you for watching. Leave some comments in there. Let me know what you think of this vehicle. If you own one, if you're gonna buy one, anybody that has experience with one of these, just leave it in the comments. That would really, really help out other people when they're watching this video, to give them some more information. And that's what this video is all about, information. So thank you for watching. Thank you to East Coast Honda here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, for providing the vehicle to check out and show off, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm going to try to show you, there's a little bit of a glare with the privacy glass, but I'm going to try to show you, see if I can move the door here, the window sticker here, so you can use the pause button and read it if you can see it. So yeah, I think you can hopefully get some information off of this. Go down each one of these, and of course you just pause the video and you can read it, just as a archive, I guess, to be at the end of the video. It sure has been a windy day, so watching this video, if you made it this far, hopefully, like right now, the wind's blowing. Hopefully that hasn't been too annoying. I know that's an issue. I try to avoid it as much as possible, but it's tough to stop wind from interfering with your microphone. So we'll see what happens.